Hi there, a very warm welcome to The Sweet Spot, the weekly golf show from the Racing Post. It's Bruce Millington and Steve Palmer back after a week off, and what a week it was. Joe Champion cemented his reputation as the super sub, nailing two beautiful winners on last week's show. We will have Joe's tips for this week's later on in case you want to stick with the man in form. But Steve, I hope, is brimming with confidence and good advice for two great tournaments this week. Before we get stuck into them, let's look back on what happened last week. We'll start with the BMW International Open in Germany. And Steve, Victor Hovland was a short price favourite and a few wobbles for his fans on Sunday, but I suppose he put it to bed with that really clear demonstration of his superiority on Saturday, didn't he?
I thought it was a brilliant performance, yeah. I mean, obviously the week before we were running for the US Open, he got some sand trapped in his eye before round two on the practice ground. That's what a freak injury. But in between the US Open and the BMW, he's got the injury sorted and certainly had his eye on the ball in Germany. I mean, I just think that the bravery he showed on the 72nd hole. I mean, he had a one-shot lead going up the 72nd hole. There's water to the right of the green. Most players would have laid up in that situation, try and make a par, the easy way. He just smashes a wood onto the middle of the green. Just a fearless operator. I just think Hovland's he's going to the very top. I can see a career Grand Slam for Victor Hovland. I'm that impressed with him. He made such rapid progress early on. I think eventually he'll win everything.
Wow, excellent, good stuff. I know you've obviously been a Hovland fan for a long time. Over in America, Harris English got it done, and a great tip by Joe. But boy, it took a while, didn't it? Did you stay up for the 8-hole playoff?
I did. I mean, that's the second longest playoff in PGA Tour history. I'd have to consult Jeremy Chapman for the other one. 1946, there was an 11-hole playoff, apparently. I don't remember seeing that one. But
what time did it finish, this one?
20 past 1. Our time, 20 past 1. And Kramer Hickok. Yeah, Harris English, obviously fantastic news for us, but Kramer Hickok, such a plucky performance for a player who hadn't even secured his playing rights for next year. And he had all his family watching him, watching the emotions of the family during the playoff was. But no, he didn't disgrace himself at all. He holds some amazing putts, some putts he had no right to hold. I think everyone succeeded, really. Harris English was pleased to get back to winning ways. He's had a few injuries, and
and he'd had an appalling finish the week before, didn't he? Absolutely went to bits, didn't he, when in contention?
Oh, the Palmetto, the Palmetto. He had a late triple bogey, but we didn't realise the extent of his back injury. He tweaked his back before the Players' Championship, pulled out from the Players' Championship, and then his form completely disappeared. But we didn't realise how bad the back was, and it's a continual niggle, but slowly regained fitness and form. Palmetto, he contended. He was third in the US Open then. And then won last year. So Harris English, a 4-time PGA Tour champion now, and a big runner for the Open Championship. If you remember at the start of the year, we were talking about Harris English after the Century Tournament Champions win, and he was asked which major he fancied, and we were quite stunned by his response. He likes the Open Championship venue, so keep English on your radar for that, and keep Hickok on your radar for other events, because, as I say, really impressive, gutsy performance from him.
Could Harris English become a Ryder Cupper this year as he forced his way into contention?
Oh, embarrassment of riches, isn't it, for the Americans? I mean, as a European golf fan, you worry for us because such strength and depth. And he'd be close now. Yeah, absolutely.
I did have a little look at the standings. I see Victor Perez is in line to represent Europe, but I thought there might be one or two others forcing their way, but it's mainly the same old names, isn't it? But anyway, we'll get to the Ryder Cup nearer the time. That's in September. And a quick word about the Women's PGA as well, where Nelly Corder, again, tipped by Joe at 14-1, got the job done. And I did see someone on Twitter who said they backed Joe's selections in doubles and had a 614-1 double there. So well played, Joe. Anything else to add to last week, Steve, or should we get stuck in?
Let's have a brief mention of Vincent Norman. Vincent Norman, a young Swede who I like the look of. He was impressive in the Scandinavian mixed, even more impressive last week, finished 5th. Got Dorset man on the caddy, so I'm trying to get hold of this Dorset fella, get a bit of Vincent Norman, a few clues on where he could play well. But I've got my eye on Vincent Norman, big star.
Oh, right. Okay. I've never heard of him. I was in Dorset last week, Steve, your own county. I was further up north. Beautiful. You do live in a lovely part of the world, don't you? I must say.
We both had a good week off, didn't we? Yeah. Did you have a really good week off?
Lovely week off. It was really nice. I stayed in a yurt. It was
excellent. Yeah,
an actual proper Mongolian yurt.
I still don't know what a yurt is, but
it's like a circular tent.
Is it a posh tent? A posh tent?
Yeah, exactly. It's a posh tent. Yeah.
It
was very nice indeed. What was the highlight of your week off last week then?
Longleat Safari Park. Have you ever been to Longleat Safari Park?
I haven't. No, I do. I've been to Whipsnade when we were kids, and I remember it because we were in the car, and my dad always insisted on having the window slightly open. Okay, and we were in, and there were so many signs, right, saying, make sure you shut all your windows, but he had to have it on. It's just anyway. This bear comes up and gets its claws in the gap and starts forcing it down. It's absolutely the most horrific thing of all time. And my dad sort of froze. He bottled the situation, but finally drove off. And the bear's claws left marks down the side. So it was high drama, I must say. But it was totally reckless. For life.
No, that is reckless. You've got signs at Longley with a picture of a man being attacked by a lion, just in case you were considering getting the windows down. I mean, I've always thought, I know we'll get onto the golf, we're here for the golf, but I've always wondered.
A man being attacked by a lion? What, like those graphic pictures they have on cigarette packets of heavily deteriorated lungs? And it was, was it a drawing or an actual
a drawing? Yeah, a drawing. Oh. Not a photograph, but a drawing. But it certainly kept the kids in check. But I was thinking, in the olden days, you had a window you can wind down, can't you, and wind up with your hands. Nowadays, it's all, if you have an electrical fault in there. I remember driving back from Brighton once, and I had an electrical fault in my car, and I had rain coming in for the whole journey back. Yeah, if you've had electrical, you're in big trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. You'd have to ring the warden, wouldn't you, I suppose? Okay, right then. Well, I'm glad you had a lovely week off. I hope you've been studying this week. Should we start with the Irish Open? Let's start with the Irish Open. A beautiful Mount Juliet. Of course, I was lucky enough to play a few years ago. It's sort of in the middle southern part of Ireland, so it's not a links, it's an inland course. Absolutely gorgeous. Tell us a little bit about Mount Juliet, Steve, and then we'll get the prices and then we'll get your tips.
7,250 yards, par 72. Parkland layout designed by Jack Nicklaus. Hosted the Irish Open from 1993 to 1995, and also staged the WGC Amex Championship in 2002 and 2004. So very old form. But what the theme that comes from those events is there's such a quality honours board. Nick Faldo, Bernard Langer, Sam Torrance, Tiger Woods, Ernie Els. So the cream has risen to the top in this event. It's an American-style course designed by Nicklaus. Generous fairways. Yes, always the Nicklaus way. Generous fairways, well-protected greens. So I think accurate approach shots is the key to success this week.
Okay, right then. Let's have a little look at the betting. As always, these are guide prices. There are potentially better prices and better each way terms. Shop around, as always. Rory's favourite, Rory McIlroy, 11-2. Then you've got Shane Larry at 12s, Tommy Fleetwood's 12s, Christian Beduizenhout 18s, Martin Kamer, who roared back to form last week with a very good effort, he's 20s, 33-1 bar. How many tips?
5.
Okay, right then. Who is the headline selection for the Irish Open?
It is Sam Horsfield. Accurate approach shots, the key to the success this week, I think. Horsfield is 5th in the European Tour strokes gained on approach stats. That's 3rd best in this field. His game is ideal for this assignment. He can destroy, there's 4 par 5s, he can destroy them. Cloudy, calm conditions expected for the most part. I think it's going to be low scoring. Horsfield, a birdie machine. We've seen it in his last 2 starts. He made really fast starts, a 64 in Sweden when we were on him and a 64 in Germany last time out. He's failed to kick on, finished 19th and 5th. I think on this course, he gallops to the line. Jet setting has been a problem for Horsfield. He's Florida-based. He's been crossing the Atlantic a lot, demanding schedule. But this time he's had a very short journey from Germany to Ireland. I think he's fresh for the fight. His 2 European Tour wins have come in the UK. I think a 3rd win comes in Ireland on Sunday.
Okay, Sam Horsfield, the number 1 selection, and then the main danger.
Main danger is Rasmus Højgaard, who's had similar issues to Horsfield with regards to his schedule, going back and forth across PGA Tour, European Tour, travelling very difficult at the moment. Inconsistent performances resulted. He's young, he's inexperienced, but since the USPGA, he's played exclusively in Europe, and his form returned last week. 4 solid rounds for 17th place in the BMW, closed with a 68. He's a 2-time European Tour champion at the age of 20. One of those wins came in the UK Championship. He's got a great record in England generally. I see him thriving across the Irish Sea as well. He's 23rd in the strokes gained on approach stats.
Righty-ho, and then who?
3rd selection is Justin Harding, a South African who's actually relocated to your neck of the woods. Sorry, he was on a sightseeing trip to London just before the pandemic started, fell in love with a girl called Leah, and the rest is history. He moved into a flat with Leah just before lockdown, big test of their relationship. They now got a bigger place together, so it's a big success. Harding has never been happier. He's playing well. He won the Kenya Open at the end of March. He played well on the Canary Islands swing, and then last week 5th in the BMW International. Yeah, this is a player so often underrated in the bet, and he's a prolific champion. 7-time winner on the Sunshine Tour, 2-time winner on the Asian Tour, 2-time winner on the European Tour. I think he's being disrespected in the market this week.
What sort of price is he?
He's 55 to 1. We've got 25 to 1 Horsfield. We've got 60 to 1 Hogard and 55 to 1 Harding. And then we got 2 more at bigger prices. Callum Hill, who we've been on a lot lately, 3-time Challenge Tour champion. One of those wins came in Northern Ireland. He was 6th in the 2018 Irish Challenge in County Monaghan, 7th in the 2019 Challenge Tour event in Northern Ireland. He's played well in England. He's played well in Wales on the European Tour.
Does that matter, Steve? Golf's golf, isn't it?
This is a Scot who seems to play well close to home. Familiar surroundings. His British Isles record is amazing, and he's been on leaderboards a lot this year everywhere. Clearly looks good enough to win on the European Tour. This seems a great opportunity, and the biggest price of the lot, 125 to 1, is Sean Crocker. It's an American-style course this week, and an American might win. Crocker is 19th on the strokes gained on approach stats. Magnificent ball striker. Played well in both events in Germany this month. The 2 maidens I like best are Crocker and Hill.
Excellent. Okay, let's have a word on the front few in the betting. Rory, I mean, at what price would he have had to be before you started getting interested in tipping Rory?
Much bigger than he is. I mean, I wasn't attracted. I think he'll play well, but that US Open final round was a real gut buster for him. He was strongly in contention, then dropped away. When you're talking about courses where strokes gained on approach is the key, McIlroy that can be a weakness for McIlroy. So I don't fancy McIlroy. I prefer Lowry at the front 2. He's been impressive lately. He's been super cheerful as well. I mean, he seems really happy. But the US Open, again, a massive disappointment. I fancied him for that US Open. He goes with a final around 79. Really tailed off there. So I think Torrey Pines, we might have lost some of his confidence.
And how about Fleetwood? It seems to have been a while since Fleetwood actually topped a leaderboard, isn't it?
It's a very flat campaign for Fleetwood, yeah. I mean, at Royal Portrush, he was second behind Larry, winning the Open. He might come alive in Ireland again. But Fleetwood didn't attract me either. Now, all the market leaders are not for me this week. I think Sam Horsfield is the one to trust. I know we've been on him a lot lately, but I think stay patient, you get your results.
Smashing. Let's move across to Detroit, which hosts the Rocket Mortgage Classic, which was won after the COVID restart last year by Bryson DeChambeau, and he heads the market to make a successful defence. He's around about 15 to 2. And then you've also got Patrick Reed at 14s. We've got Matsuyama at 16s, Webb Simpson at 18s, and it's 20s bar. So it's a decent field, this, Steve, isn't it? Tell us all about Detroit Golf Club.
Detroit Golf Club in Michigan, 7,370 yards, par 72. Donald Ross design, hosting for the 3rd time. Nate Lashley and Bryson DeChambeau won the first 2 very contrasting players. So clearly more than one way to skin this particular cat. But I think this week the DeChambeau method is the one, because stormy weather in the build-up. Not much wind forecast. You can bomb and gouge to your heart's content. It's a flat, easy course. 25 under and 23 under, the 2 winning scores in the previous ones.
Goodness me. Right then, how many selections?
Ah!
Lovely. Good man. Who's the main man? No, badly timed swig there.
Sorry, that took a lot out of me, that 4. The main man. The main man is the same main man who dominated last year. It's Bryson DeChambeau. I was surprised. You talk about Rory's prize. I was surprised when I saw the opening shows come through to this. I think DeChambeau's the better favourite. He's the only member of the world's top 8 in attendance this week. None of the real elite is here. He hasn't got to worry about Brooks Koepka. I think the Koepka spat has become a bit of a distraction. Koepka's a million miles away this week. DeChambeau is the standout player in this field. I was expecting him to be around the 5 to 1 mark. He's very easy to back at 15 to 2 with the bookies. And on the exchanges last time I had a look, he's almost 9 to 1. I think that's a huge price in a weak field. He's played this tournament only once before. Last year, closed with a 65, won by 3 shots, 23 under par. He actually apologised to Donald Ross before the event. It's quite amusing. He's apologised to the course designer because he's explaining how he's going to overpower the layout, not play it in its traditional fashion. He backed up those words in emphatic fashion. He averaged 330 yards off the tee, 10 yards longer than anyone else in the field. He missed loads of fairways, but it didn't matter. And And the conditions this week, as I say, lend themselves to a repeat. It's made for his power game. And I think you're going to get focus from Deschamps. When you back a favourite like this, you want everything. Is he going to be focused for this? And I think he is, because the stateside majors are over now. They are his best chances of major success. The British Open, as he would call it, it's not an event he would have high expectations for. I think his targets for the rest of the year are to get to 10 PGA Tour wins. He's on 8 at the moment, and winning the FedEx Cup, and then maybe an Olympic medal as well. But I think you're going to get full focus from Bryson this week.
Righty-ho. So if it's not Bryson, who could it be?
Next best is Jason Kokrak, who is more confident than ever in his mid-30s. He beat Xander Schauffele in a duel at Shadow Creek. He beat Jordan Spieth in a duel at Colonial. Kokrak has suddenly become a multiple PGA Tour champion. He's putting superbly. He's up to world number 24. He put a new set of irons in the bag at Colonial, fell in love with them, gained almost 15 shots on the field from tee to green. He's played once before in the Rocket Mortgage. He tied for 29th place in 2019. He was a nervous maiden with putting problems back then. Different animal turning up this week.
Okay, and then the other two?
The other two, Joaquin Niemann. Like Kokrak, he's played only one of these 2 previous Rocket Mortgages. He finished 5th in 2019, 4 rounds in the 60s, showed an immediate affection for the layout. He became a PGA Tour champion 3 months later. And this year he strongly threatened victory number 2. In Hawaii at the start of the year, he was runner-up in both of those events, Century Tournament champion, Sony Open. Really solid campaign, former world number 1 amateur, still only 22 years of age, so loads of scope for improvement. And then the final one at a massive price, 100 to 1 opening show, Sepp Straka, Georgia-based Austrian, winner on the Corn Ferry Tour. I think he's talented enough to win on the PGA Tour. He made a welcome return to form last week. He finished 10th in the Travelers Championship, opened with a 66, closed with a 66. And that is superb timing, because he loves Detroit Golf Club. He finished 11th in 2019 when he was outside the world's top 300. And then he finished 8th last year. And prior to both of those good efforts in the Rocket Mortgage, he missed the cut in the Travelers. So this time, having finished 10th in the Travelers, it's logical to expect an even better performance.
Splendid. Why didn't you tip Will Zalatoris for the first time ever?
Yeah, no course experience. I mean, obviously, the way things go. Finally, I've backed him pretty much every week he's played this year. So.
You have to accept that, don't you, Steve? It's part and parcel of being a golf tipster, isn't it? You know, you've got to know when to get off the merry-go-round and when to keep the faith, I guess, don't you?
No, I respect him. I just think perhaps he prefers a harder test. It might be a bit too easy for him.
Righty-ho. Anything else to add on this particular tournament, or should we recap this week's selections?
I think we should recap this week's selections, yeah.
Right, let's recap then. So, where are you going?
Sorry, I've just got a few things on the fly. I've got a different setup in the office now, because you know my problems with the E button. Everything's changed here now. So I've now Sandeep, when I finally got hold of Sandeep, he's sent me a new keypad. So the keypad's gone on the right hand side. The laptop's over here. You see, I'm tucked in the corner a bit more next to Mike Tyson's boxing glove there. So it's all changed. Are
you happy with the setup?
Yeah, I think it's improved. Yeah, I'm getting used to the bigger keys. Yeah, I think we're on the up. But yeah, you couldn't replace the laptop. So we are where we are. Yeah, we are where we are.
There it is. Right then, Steve Palmer's selections for the Irish Open are
Sam Horsfield, Rasmus Højgaard, Justin Harding, Callum Hill, and Sean Crocker.
And the Rocket Mortgage Classic fancies:
Bryson DeChambeau, Jason Kokrak, Joaquin Niemann, and Sepp Straka.
Thank you very much. I did promise you at the start that we give you Joe's selections. You can always read Joe Champion in the Racing and Football Outlook every Tuesday. This week, he has gone for, in the Irish Open, Shane Lowry, Martin Kamer, Andy Sullivan, and Andrew Beef Johnson. And in America, he's gone for Zalatoris, blimey, Garrick Higgo, Doc Redman, Maverick McNeely, and he's gone for Straka as well. He's gone for the same as you. So you've both picked the same long shot. So let's hope he plays well, eh, Stevie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I like Sepp Straka.
Jolly good. Now, I thought you were wearing like a judo, what do they call those judo things? A judo outfit. Well, a judo outfit, because the star and everything. But then, of course, it's the now you've sat back a bit. You've got 3 lines on your shirt. I know producer Will is there, resplendent in his red England kit. I feel a terrible traitor today. You're all excited. Have you enjoyed the football so far? It's been marvellous, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I mean, it's a massive game, isn't it? Given the way the draws opened up. I mean, I have fallen into this trap before, and I'm an old man now. I had a 43rd birthday last week as well. I'm in my mid-40s. I've never seen England win a major tournament. I know you were in your mid-20s when they won the 1966 World Cup. So it's not.
I was in my mother's womb actually at that point, but so I don't remember it too well. But
so you've almost seen it.
Yeah,
I've not seen it, and I really, really want to see it before I perish. So it does mean a lot to me today, actually, ridiculously.
Where are you going to watch it?
Well, I'm just going to rattle through the today's assignments. Yeah, in my house, I've invited a few characters around me. It's difficult for the working man. 5 o'clock kickoff. You can't really do anything too extravagant. But yeah. In my house, I'm desperately trying to get my children into it. I told Grace France got knocked out last night. She didn't realise the magnitude of that. I mean, it's only Italy and Belgium we really got to worry about now.
Really, I wouldn't worry about Italy. I think they're grossly overrated.
Oh, do you? Oh, right.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I'll stop worrying about anything then.
No, don't worry about anything, mate. Just enjoy the ride. So you're watching it at your home, are you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Where are you watching it? Sorry.
I'm watching it at Wembley Stadium, actually. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But, managed to get a ticket. So, no, very excited indeed. I'm sure it'll be a great game.
Score will be?
Anything's possible, isn't it, mate? I mean, after those 3-3s last night, I'm sure we're due a horror 0-0, aren't we, I think? But we'll see, Steve. I mean, history tells me, you've had 43 years of this, I've had 54 years of it. History tells us that it always goes wrong somehow, but you never know, do you? This might be the time, so fingers crossed. Okay, right then, Steve, we've got the Scottish Open and the John Deere Classic next week, haven't we? Are you looking forward to those? Yeah. Where's the Scottish Open this year?
Renaissance again, isn't it? Yeah, not a huge fan of the Renaissance, but yeah, we're on the open countdown. I mean, before you know it, the majors come so thick and fast, don't they?
Yeah,
you just get your US Open out of the way, and suddenly you got an Open Championship. So yeah, we're on full countdown for that now.
Brilliant. Okay, Steve, thank you very much indeed. We'll see you next week on the Sweet Spot. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget, bet safely. Let us know who you fancy at the bottom of the stream. Leave your comments. If you manage to nail the winner, we will give you a shout out. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Back next week with another Sweet Spot.